Hey everyone, I'm Christine Kidder-Graves, Executive Career and Mindset Coach here, helping you to have work that works for you, career that is by design, not default. And I'm talking about a new topic for me to cover, something that I really don't talk about, and I'm really happy to start talking about it. And what it is, it's how to have a healthy relationship with money. Because in working with my clients, I do see, and just in, seeing other professionals, people in the workforce, our our money mindset and our attitudes and beliefs about money really impact all areas of our life, including our work, including our careers. And like, for example, and I was posting about it earlier this week, and you're more than welcome to check out my post on Tuesday. I did a post asking you how much savings you need to have in order to have the freedom to leave a position. What if you're in a job that is something's gone wrong with it and you want to leave? You're so unhappy. You can't take it anymore. You could be in a toxic work environment. You could just be stressed tremendously and you want to leave. You want to leave yesterday, but maybe you don't feel comfortable financially. Can you really be without that job for a month or two or three, however long it takes you to find a new job? How comfortable are you leaving a job without having a new job lined up? Like, how much savings would you have to have? So that was the poll, and it's still open. So that's a poll that I always run. Well, I always do a poll post on Tuesdays. So you can go to my profile, pull up Tuesday's post, and vote in that, because we would love to get your vote. But that impacts like our mindset about money. It impacts the freedom that we have to live our lives. Absolutely. So yeah. So does that impact you and your decisions that you're making? Another topic that I posted about this week was one of my clients that I worked with. She actually came to work with me because her job search wasn't going very well, number one. And number two, she was also, because of that, she was questioning, she was doubting herself. She was doubting the compensation that she was looking for in her next role. She's like, maybe I'm asking for too much money. Maybe I shouldn't be asking for this much. And she needed to work with me. And I validated, hey, this is the right range for you. You need to be looking for this and maybe even more for these types of roles. So that was an example of like, do you doubt yourself? Do you second guess yourself when it comes to how much you should be paid at work? Maybe you've been wanting to ask for a raise because you feel that you should be making more. What are you basing that on? And do you feel comfortable asking for more? Do you feel comfortable asking for that raise or for that promotion? Again, our attitudes with money could impact this very much and the decisions that we're making in our career. And then another thing that I thought about this morning was often, like, and I remember thinking about this when I was younger, just thinking that if I made more money, all of my problems with money will be solved. Well, that's not really the case, because as you go in your career and as you do make more money, it seems like your problems grow. With more money comes more responsibility, and that's not, it doesn't have to be a problem. But if, depending on our mindset with money, our belief with money, how comfortable we are about money, money typically can be a taboo topic. Which is a perfect segue, because the main focus of this is my conversation with Amber Duggar, who is one of my coaches that I work with. And working with Amber has been life-changing for me. So I came to work with Amber because I have a business. And a lot of Amber's programs are focused on business owners. However, you don't have to be a business owner to work with Amber. She can really help you have a much healthier relationship with money. And you got to catch this conversation. So I'm going to share it now. I'm going to play it because of schedules. I talked with Amber earlier and I recorded the conversation. So I'm going to play it for you now. I'll go ahead and add it right now, and I'm going to play it, and then I'll just do a wrap up for you. But I just wanted you to hear this because I think you'll find this extremely helpful. So let me go ahead and add it here, and then I'll zoom me out of the picture. Okay, so here we go. My conversation earlier today with the amazing Amber Duggar. Great way to start the day, and just a great way to have this Friday is to be able to talk with you, Amber, and just to introduce you, because I think there's still a lot of people that are familiar with you. So I'm very happy to be talking with you, and I have some questions for you today. So thank you for taking the time to talk with me for a little bit right now.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, this is exciting. So, and I love sharing resources, incredible resources on LinkedIn, and all the work that you've done is just incredible. And I really feel like more people need to know about it. So I'll jump right into my questions for you.
Great.
I wanted to start with this question because it's a more general question, then we can be a little bit more specific, but it's, just to jump right into it, what advice would you give to someone who feels overwhelmed by their business finances and just money in general? Because I feel like there's way too many people that are overwhelmed when it comes to money.
Well, I love this question because truly, if you are feeling this way, I want you to first just know you are not alone, and it can be a very isolating feeling because it's also something that we're conditioned to not talk about. So money in general has been a taboo subject. I think that thankfully it's starting to evolve and shift, but it has been for many, many generations something that we just don't talk about. So when we don't talk about it, and then it also is a really big part of our day-to-day life. And on top of that, can be connected to so many other emotions and really thoughts about ourselves, our vocation, all of these other things. It can create a significant stressor. And then on top of that, we have a financial and educational industry who are really truly failing us in terms of not providing us with the most essential information around this and what really matters. There's a lot of ego involved in the financial industry because they want to overcomplicate things, and it's a really easy thing to overcomplicate. So saying all that, I would say the first thing is just reminding yourself that it's always possible to have a shift in a positive direction. And a lot of times it's just information that we simply don't have yet. And so when you're making decisions, you are making decisions, the best decisions, because it's with the information you've had. So if you're feeling like you want to make new decisions, then it's all about just starting to empower yourself with the information that really matters. And it truly is not as complicated as everyone wants you to think it is. And that's really what my mission is to simplify this.
Yes. Yeah. Great. Awesome. Why do you believe it's crucial for entrepreneurs to be empowered in understanding their numbers versus outsourcing it to a fractional CFO or some other expert,
Yeah. Well, just imagine outsourcing all of your meals and choices around eating to someone that you don't even know if they necessarily have the same values and ideals that you want to have for your own body. That's something to just consider. When it comes to money, we easily are, and we're all conditioned to think that we need to depend on someone else for this information. But as a CEO, the true essence of being a CEO and founder of a company is you have a vision. You have a really clear vision of who you want to help, what you want to be able to do in terms of positive change. And money is a conduit of our intentions. So when we have someone else focusing on that and looking at that, and it's really the true tool that is going to fuel your vision, there's a disconnect there. And so I don't believe that anyone needs to do their own bookkeeping, their taxes, accounting. All of that is they're beautiful services that can be provided by professionals. But what isn't talked about is the piece that we're all wondering about, but don't necessarily talk about, which is, am I paying myself enough? Am I paying myself too little? How do I pay myself consistently when I have variable income months? How do I make sure that I'm actually aiming for the right amount of money? How do I prepare for taxes? How do I ensure that when I want to bring on another staff member that I can afford it, that I can actually do that with the current state of my finances? And those questions are not going to be answered by a bookkeeper or an accountant. And a fractional CFO typically is trained by that industry. And so they will show you a really fancy dashboard with KPIs and reports and have you look at bookkeeping reports. But at the end of the day, none of that is going to help you with what you really are seeking for, which is you want to know how much money you want to be making. You want to know if you can pay yourself, and you want to be able to pay yourself regularly. And you also want to feel expansive. You don't want to be feeling like, oh, I shouldn't buy that because I'm not sure I have enough money for it. And when you understand some key pieces of information that are currently available to you, it's just a different perspective of looking at it, everything starts to shift. And then you can really see, okay, yes, of course I want to be in behind the wheel of where our company is going, and cash flow is the gas for that.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So can you speak to, because I think many people haven't heard about your main program, which is Profit for Keeps. So can you talk about how you came up with the whole concept of Profit for Keeps?
Yeah, it was completely out of necessity. I had been in the financial industry for over 15 years. I felt like my soul was dying in my cubicle. I honestly thought I would never touch money again with a 10-foot pole. The Xerox machines gave me PTSD. After leaving corporate, I had been training for a year to become a holistic health coach. I had clients and I moved to Bali, Indonesia, thinking, okay, this is going to be the best change. Well, unfortunately, I was so stressed out that I couldn't really enjoy Bali because I was really concerned of all the things that I just mentioned. Can I afford to pay myself? Can I actually give myself a raise if I'm making this money? How am I going to make sure that I don't have to go back to corporate? That was my biggest fear. And this is someone who has a degree in finance, a degree in business, has worked in the financial industry, and honestly had a very unusual upbringing of parents who taught me about money. And that's very rare. So I had all of this information. And then I was noticing that I was given pieces of information that, at least from that experience, I knew was misinformation, such as, okay, we're going to give you a generic revenue goal of 5K a month, and we're going to give you generic pricing to start with. And when I did the quick math, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to have 50 clients and I'm going to be $3,000 short every single month. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. And that's when I realized that there was a significant gap in the understanding of what you really want to be looking at, and how a life in Bali is going to have a very different revenue goal than someone living in Upper East Side of New York City. And it doesn't actually matter that they're different revenue goals. What matters is it's aligned to how you want to be living your life. And from there, you can then look at how the business is going to be built. So I started talking with people in Bali and recognizing that all of the training I had in coaching was so key to holding space for individuals who felt comfortable sharing their deepest fears and concerns and anxieties around money. And I truly had no idea how much of a burden it was on almost every single person I talked to. And that's how that was born.
Awesome. That is great. Thank you for sharing that. That's like, so it's really nice to know the history and understand. So in your opinion, what sets Profit for Keeps apart from other money programs?
I would say that I'm stepping more and more into truly being vocal about this. I was very quiet about this for a long time. It truly is something that you will not find elsewhere. I have, this is a framework that finance professors go through and are blown away by. Financial planners go through, accountants go through, bookkeepers go through, and they recognize that, wow, this is a completely different look And I would say the biggest thing is that when people implement the system, they aren't looking for another solution when it comes to money, because we cover both personal and business cash flow. And we also look at what really fuels your joy and ensuring that your business model and your revenue goal align so that you can truly have a permanently profitable business. And I would say that is probably the biggest difference, is that we are teaching a combination of both masculine and feminine properties of money and how they really beautifully exist together.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. And I do have one more question for you. So I had to get this one in too, because this is important, but then I should be able to let you go here. But this question is, can you just share a sneak peek or highlight of the resources or tools that participants will get from attending your free masterclass that you have coming up this week that we're going to be starting, for next week?
Of course. Well, hopefully something here in this conversation has piqued your interest. And I know that we have so many other things that we would love to be doing. I'm not a big fan of coming to masterclasses, to be honest. And I want you to know that I take your time extremely seriously. So we do not hold back in this masterclass. This is not something where you just at the end of it are confused and go, oh my gosh, what was that? I have a very deep personal mission to have a minimum of 1 million people exposed to this information, that you can truly walk away with just the information from the masterclass and have a really good idea of what may be missing in your business. So we provide not only all of the information that the financial industry not only are not telling you, but many of the professionals don't even know to tell you, but also a tool to help you with that first step, which is, getting a revenue goal that really aligns with your life. And people come back again and again because they learn something new each time. I don't script it. It's very much a flow of consciousness with a very clear structure of what I want to make sure to convey to you. So I hope that you can make it. We're doing 3 live workshops next week. And Christine will be sharing a link for you to sign up.
Yes. Yeah. And it's great because you have it on 3 days, 3 different days, 3 different times. So I think it's a nice variety of times too, just to, for people. And then people are welcome to attend more than one too, if that's for them as well, because sometimes that repetition is really helpful. So, and I have to say, I just loved how you said money is a conduit for our intentions, because we forget that, and we really have to tap into that. That is so important. So
that comes from the book A Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. It's a quote from Lynn Twist, and she's amazing. It's a great book too.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you too, Amber. This was wonderful. I so appreciate your time. So yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Have a great one.
Hey, so hopefully you found that helpful. I know I did. And Amber is just amazing. So come to the master class that's next week, because you will get value out of it. And there's master classes all over the place, but this is free, as many of them are. But this is different because you will get information, you'll get value that will really help you with money, to have a better relationship with money, because we could all use that. It's always, again, like I love how she used that analogy of like what you eat, your money. You should understand your numbers. There's nothing wrong with you having an accountant, a tax accountant, especially a tax accountant, to have those experts that help us. But at the end of the day, we still need to understand our numbers. Working with them is not an excuse to not understand your numbers. So, because that really empowers you, and again, money is that conduit for your intentions. Love that quote. And so what is something that you can do to feel less overwhelmed with money? Maybe get in the habit of checking your bank accounts on a daily basis, and, your other, like if you have savings or CDs or whatever, maybe just checking in on that and getting more comfortable with it. That's just something, again, if you're feeling overwhelmed. And then definitely check out the masterclass. So the link is in the comments to that. So you can check that out. You can totally check that out. So feel feel free to do that. And then, yeah, so check that out. And then I'm going to be sharing this. I'm going to keep this post live so you can access it. Oops. And I better get going because my dogs are starting to bark. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Hope to see you in the master class. Bye.